Oh, oh no, it's yapping time again. Well, when was the 9 month? It's been 9 months. Oh, okay then. Well, here we go. Okay, so what else happened? Well, a lot has happened. It's been 9 whole months of blood and sweat and tears and other bodily fluids, but here we are, chugging right along. This is the summer devlog update. So, what have we done? We did indeed complete a few of the things we talked about last time. We put the whole story into the game. The whole story. It is all there. The entire saga. You can read it start to finish. It's in abridged form, of course, with the TLDR Wikipedia plot summary style. Kind of like Romeo and Juliet, how at the very beginning of the play they're like, hey, here's what happens, and then you know you're ready for it, and you just fasten your seatbelt and let it hit you. I was kind of on the fence about this, if I wanted to really go this route or not, but I was talking to somebody in the stream, and they were like, yeah, this is not a bad idea. And I was like, I don't know, it might be a bad idea to just reveal the entire plot before anybody's even played the thing. And they said something along the lines of, you know, in a roller coaster, you can see the loops coming, but it doesn't make them unfun, or something along those lines. And I was like, damn, that's a solid point. Like, this actually might work. So, that being said, you can indeed read the entire Zone B Korosu saga, the main plot, right at the start of the game. Fire it up, read it. Yep, that was an interesting story. Uninstall, refund the game. No, please don't do that. I'm just joking. I'm just joking. Please do not do that. Anyway, I think it's a pretty cool story. So, next up, the art is still probably the biggest hurdle that I'm dealing with. Oh boy, the art. And I wanted to do a big art push. Early this year. That was kind of going to be my main objective. That did not happen. I thought about it, and I kind of even started a little bit. I started redoing the art and improving things, and I did some art, and I was redrawing chapter 1, and somewhere along the line I was just like, man, I'm gonna just be like so much of a fraud if I have this really good art, but like no game. Like, suppose I put really good art in the game and it's like an hour long and people are like, cool, where's the rest? Or like, you know, a close friend of mine coined the phrase, it has to work before it looks pretty. And that's kind of what I've been focusing on, just making it work first. So art push has been pushed back. I'm still going to do it. It's not I'm not going to do it, but I'm focusing more on finishing the game. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit more when we get to what's coming next. We did indeed do a big cutscene overhaul, as discussed. We created an auto-forwarding system, so we kind of just scrapped the whole previous system that didn't work, where you had to press one button to advance the cutscene scene and one button to advance the dialogue. That system didn't work at all. We just scrapped it, and now it just auto forwards. I've gotten some feedback that this might not be the best system either, because some people like taking their time and reading at their own pace. That's completely heard. We're gonna change it up again later and make this toggleable, and probably add like a speed component so you can adjust how fast it auto forwards. But for now, the default is auto forward, and we'll just see how it works. So far, people are a lot less confused. Our test players that we've observed have no problems watching the auto-forwarding cutscene, as opposed to trying to work out what buttons to press to get the thing to advance. And a lot more people are kind of sticking with the game instead of being like, that was neat, and putting the controller down as soon as the game comes to a crashing halt on the first cutscene. It's not perfect, but it's better than we had before. Next up, I discussed earlier that the story was way too big for our purposes, and it just wasn't going to be feasible for me to make the whole thing in a succinct and efficient way. That's not true. Actually, we got this. We're gonna get it all in there the way that I envisioned it. We got this. We're gonna get it all in there, and a lot sooner than you might think, even. So what else happened? We had some triumphs this year so far, with it now being August of 2026. We had a lot of wins. Like, I started on some speed paints. I did some speed paint videos, kind of old school, music in the background, kind of a throwback to my childhood / adulthood of learning how to enter the anime world. You know, back in the day when you'd see people speed painting with some like rave music over the top, it's kind of like that. That's been a lot of fun, and it's also helped me hone my art skills, and I've gotten some pretty good feedback on the art. Not feedback per se, but like positive reaction, like, wow, you're getting so good at this. And I'm like, thanks, man, that's awesome. So that's been fun. I added a difficulty scaler for Chapter 1. That was a lot of fun because some people were saying the game was too easy, some people were saying it was too hard, some people were like, it's just right. And we have a difficulty for every type of player. There's a very easy mode for people who aren't super into this kind of game, like platformers, so they can kind of just waltz through, not really paying too much attention to the combat. I left the difficulty the way it was for the normal mode because I feel like it was pretty fair the way it was, but then I put an extra hard mode for the people that zipped through it with no problem, and then I added an ultra hard mode, which is just an absolute insanity, and I can barely beat it. It took me a while to even get through the ultra hard mode. I basically just tuned every level until I couldn't do it easily, and it took me a lot of effort to beat the level, and that's how I knew it was ready. I was like, oh, that's ultra hard. And so I added a few other mechanics to the ultra hard mode, so basically it's one hit kill anywhere. Anything touches you, you're dead. And it also resets the level, which wasn't a thing in the normal mode, so if you've killed a bunch of enemies, they don't stay dead, they come back if you die. So it's way, way harder, and there's a bunch of other very fun surprises that you'll find in ultra hard mode that you won't find anywhere else, including a death counter. I saw some people on Twitch doing challenge runs where they'd have a death counter on the screen, but it wasn't quite as insane as ours. Our death counter actually makes the game harder as it goes on if you die. So every time you die, it covers up a little bit more of the screen. Not entirely, but enough that it's annoying, and if you've died enough times, it's just all over the screen, and you're better off maybe just resetting your run. But super fun. All of my friends who have tried it have loved it, and kind of surprised how well it turned out. It's only in Chapter 1 right now, but it's going to get expanded to the entire game eventually, once the entire game is there. That was a W. And I started a huge update. This is tied into what's happening next. But basically, I'm gonna finish the game this year. Like, finish it. I'm gonna put all 4 chapters in there. It's not finish it. It's not gonna be all the way done. But basically, I want to get all 4 chapters to a playable state that I can release it onto Steam. Basically, 2022 style, the way I released Chapter 1 originally. I want at least that level of game in the game so people can play the entire thing. It's still going to get improved beyond that, hopefully for years to come as I continue growing in art skill and game design skill, but I had something really good happen where I was watching my buddy Hilford do his stream, and he said something along the lines, not even to me, but something along the lines of gray boxing the entire game, and I was like, man, that's a great idea. And so I gray boxed the entire game, the entire thing, all 4 chapters, every single stage. Not like completely, it's not all finished levels, but I just basically planned out how every single level was going to go and where you were going to go, and that really gave me kind of a finish line that I could see and visualize, like, hey, this is the entire game world here. And I played through it a few times, and I was like, this is actually feeling like doable, like I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. So once that was all done and I could run entirely through the entire game, I started a texturing push where I was like, okay, we're going to get out of gray box into slightly colored boxes. So I was like, I'll just drop a texture onto everything. It doesn't matter if it's done. Basically just like a color, or if I have a texture that looks alright here, I'll just throw something on here that vaguely lets the player know, hey, that's what that's supposed to be, that's rocks or that's carpet or whatever. And that felt really good. I spent a couple of weeks doing that and played through the entire gray boxed game with now the ungrayed boxes, and like the more I focused on this style of game making, the more I felt like, hey, this could actually work. This is doable, and we're actually moving towards our goal a lot quicker than I thought we would. We're not doing this like 1 chapter per year thing that I envisioned last year. Like, we can do this. And so right now in August, I'm working on a story / dialogue / cutscenes push, wherein we'll get the entire story not as Wikipedia TLDR text blurbs, but actually in there with the characters saying the things they need to say, and some very, very basic visuals showing kind of what happens, maybe even like a little bit along the lines of like an old Super Nintendo N64 or even like Game Boy Advance game where you could tell the budget wasn't there for like a full-on, fully animated, big dick cutscene, but it was like, you still got the gist of the story. So that's where I am right now, and yeah, we're looking pretty good. We got 4 months, well, 3.5 months of the year left, and I think this is going to happen. Next big thing was Steam Deck compatibility. I did a convention just recently, and in preparation for that, I decided it was time to pull the trigger on a Steam Deck. They are insanely expensive right now if you buy them from Valve themselves, so I happened to find a used one on eBay, which had barely seen any usage. The dude was like, yeah, I bought this intending to play it a bunch. I played it maybe 10 times and then threw it in the closet because I never leave my house and I have a gaming PC. And so I got this thing practically brand new, for a pretty good price too, including the dock and the charger and all the components in the case. And I think this is kind of perfect for me. I was kind of going back and forth what kind of demo machine I wanted to get. I was thinking about a laptop for a while, and I was thinking about maybe making an Android build and getting one of those Android-based handhelds, or even something else like the Game Boy Advance, or trying to homebrew some DS or something like that. And then I was like, you know, whatever, I'm going to get a Steam Deck. Well, unfortunately, I waited way too long on the Steam Deck, and by the time I started looking seriously, the cheapest ones on Valve were something like $750 plus, because they stopped producing or supporting or whatever the LCD model, and they had a refurbishing program for a while, but even those were sold out. So yeah, Valve was out of the question, and then finally, I just got the bright idea. I wonder if anybody's got a lightly used one, and I was able to pick up mine for a little over $400, and it's been great. It runs great, game runs great on there. I had to do a little bit of adjusting to get it to work on there, such as going into Steamworks and setting it to use the gamepad by default instead of the keyboard, because that was messing things up. Had to make a few other changes to get it running well, but now it's basically plug and play. You drop the game onto your Steam Deck and you just go to town with it. So that's awesome. That was huge. It also gave us a lot more kind of credibility at the conventions. People used to kind of scoff at the old laptops I was using to demo the game, but at this most recent one, a lot of people were just like, wow, a Steam Deck, wow, it runs on Steam Deck, wow, that's very cool. So that definitely helped a lot, and I'm definitely gonna bring the Steam Deck out again, and kind of I could just take it anywhere and show it to anyone, and I say the game maybe even runs better on the Steam Deck than it does on an actual PC. I don't know if it's just a small screen hiding the sins that the PC would show, but it feels great to me, and I'm definitely going to keep using it. So that was huge. Our convention we just did about a week ago, we got a lot of positive feedback, and the key here is feedback from strangers. You know, if you're making a game, your friends and family will be very kind to you and say, this is great, this is awesome. Well, not fucking mine, but most people's friends and families want to be very supportive, and a lot of them don't play a lot of video games, so they say, oh, this is amazing, I can't believe you did this, and they kind of won't really give you honest or maybe informed feedback. So those are usually not reliable places to get unbiased feedback, because your friends and your family want you to feel good, so they want to say nice things about your game regardless how your game might be. Not mine. Mine are pretty brutal. They'll say, they're not mean, but usually if I show my friends and family something in the game and they don't like it, they just will stop playing. Just straight up like, oh, that's neat, put it down. But getting feedback from strangers, where the strangers who don't even know you and don't care about your feelings want to keep playing the game, and they tell you it's great, and they tell you all the things they like about it, that's meaningful. And so they did have a few like constructive things to say as well, and that was super helpful. So super important that we got that, super important that we did the demo. Can't wait to improve more and hear what else people have to say to us, kind or otherwise. Yeah, that was kind of what's been going on for the last 9 months. We've got a pretty ambitious plan for the rest of the year. As stated, we're going to try and get all 4 chapters up and running, hook them all up. They are kind of background wired up into the game, but it's disabled right now, so the Steam release does not have them. I did, however, do a very large update, well, a sizable kind of background update a few days ago, pushing out some bug fixes, pushing out some keybind fixes. The keybinds were broken for a long time, and for that I apologize. It wasn't that they couldn't be used, but they were not fun to use. I did a lot of streamlining to that. I'm going to streamline it further as well, but I pushed that out right before the convention so that we could show the Steam Deck functionality honestly and transparently. Like, here it is. This is exactly how it is on the Steam page. You can download it from our store and play it just like this. I was kind of hesitant if I wanted to even do such a big update right before showing it off, but it worked out great. Next steps, get the rest of the game in there. I'll wire up the functionality and everything once the dialogue and the cutscenes are done, and we'll have a full game. I just did a big playthrough the other day, and even without probably like half of the cutscenes in there and a lot of the gameplay, was still about 4 hours long. Our goal is to shoot for about 8 hours. It doesn't have to be 8 hours, but that's about my estimate of where the game's going to end up when we have the full cutscenes and all the full gameplay and all the things you can do. I'm hoping for about a 8-hour fast playthrough. Now, that is going to be expanded upon greatly when I finally get the thing done and get to spend time kind of polishing and adding all the bonus stuff. I want a lot of the parts of this game to be kind of just hangoutable, so you can just like wander around, talk to whoever you want to talk to, spend some time at the beach, spend some time on the rooftop, spend some time in the karaoke bar, whatever you want to do. I want to make it a whole immersive world. So theoretically, you'd be able to spend hours and hours and hours and days in the game without seeing everything, but when we first release, I'm guessing probably 6 to 10 hours, 6 to 8 hours, 6 to 10 hours, something along those lines for just a normal playthrough if you go kind of quickly. My 4 hours was me zipping through, not dying, and knowing exactly where to go. So I can easily see like a first-timer's playthrough being 12 plus hours, which I'm very excited about. Can't wait to get some feedback on that. I think the pacing is quite good. It's very tight. It doesn't lollygag too badly or trap you in kind of monotonous tasks, but it's also kind of not too urgent, so most of the time not too urgent, so you're not really being rushed through either. You can kind of just play at your own pace. I want to create an experience that feels like you are deciding how fast or slow to take things, and I suspect the difficulty scaler will help a lot with that too once I expand it out to the entire game. That's probably about all we're going to talk about this time. I don't want to yap on too long like I did last time. Got to get back to work, of course. If you like the visuals you are seeing and the audios you are hearing and you are interested in this game, please purchase the game on Steam. Helps us develop the game better and possibly bring on some other folks if we get to that point. Even just a wish list helps. If you buy it, don't like it, send me an email, send you your $10 back, whatever. You know, just or alternatively, just send us some feedback. If there's anything you don't like, I'm happy to change it, add more options, add more features, take some features away. It's all good. You know, we'll welcome feedback. Please follow me on Twitch. I am jpnjpnslaypn. Yes, cringe, I know. That's the channel where I show the game development. Everything that I am allowed to show, I will be showing on there, so you can see the game developed live. There is no AI art, there is no AI music. Everything is hand-created by human beings. Yeah, that's about it. That being said, that's a wrap. Please pick up the game on Steam. I'd appreciate it very much. And hope to see you all in the Twitch stream. Have good nights.